So today I want to talk to you about the rei, the bowing. It's the rei or bows are what happens at the very beginning when you walk into your first class. And if ever you stop training, it'll be the last thing that happens after class. So it's the beginning and end. For students that have been training for decades, they do it constantly. So you might be training, let's say, 2 or 3 times a week for 20 years, and I've had students training for 30 years, still training with me. And how many hundreds of times have they done the bows? The thing with bowing, of course, is it's vital. The thing that you do, it may not be technical or physical, but it's actually a very, very, very important part of your training, the meaning of the training. Okay? The 3 bows are shomen nirei, bowing to the founders. Sensei nirei, bow to your guide in the way. And otagai nirei, respecting others. Sensei nirei, otagai nirei, and shomen nirei. Do you notice I've done them in different order? At the beginning of class, the most important bow is shomen nirei. Finishing class, the most important bow is shomen nirei. So it's like bookends, the things holding everything together. Now, firstly, let me take a back step. Bowing. If ever you want to visit Japan or you want to talk to a Japanese person, a Nihonjin, bowing is the single most important thing that you can do. It's the glue, the social glue that keeps them together. So it's got nothing religious, it's a cultural practice. But if you don't bow, people will automatically think, oh, that person's a little bit rude, they're sort of barbarian, a gaijin, a foreigner, a person that doesn't have their manners. So bowing or lowering of the self to others is like as a sign of respect or humility, single most important thing that can happen. So it's vital. And of course, karate being derived with Japanese cultural practices, this is very important, the bow. What is that most important bow? The one at the beginning and the one at the end. The first bow at the beginning, the last bow at the end of class is shomen nirei, bowing to the founders. It doesn't actually mean bowing to the founders. Technically, it means bow to the proper place. What is the proper place? You're going to any traditional Japanese home, or even a non-traditional Japanese home, going to any Japanese company, go into the foyer, look around, and somewhere in that foyer is a single object, normally a single object, that tells you these are our beginnings, these are our roots, these are where we come from. This thing is what gives us mission and purpose. In a Japanese home, it might be grandma's ashes or a cutting from the cherry blossom tree in home village that they left 100 years ago and so on. It's a deeply important token of where you're coming from, or where you have come from. In karate, of course, there's normally an object or series of objects that represent the proper place. Your beginnings, your ancestors. Yes? So, and it could be in a home dojo in Okinawa, it might actually be a physical object, a real object. In my case, because I've got travelling gear, and of course there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dojo of Goju-Ryu, you may not always have a physical object. At home dojo, we have physical objects. You know, the hakama worn by Otsuka Sensei or my own teacher. The hakama's there, but it doesn't matter. It's the concept of your beginning. So it's bowing to the people that have provided this meaning and purpose. The most important thing you can do. Remember again that shomen nirei is about us. Why are we bowing to people that by tradition aren't alive? They've gone. We're bowing because they will help us, give us a focus to the person we want to be or are becoming. Or maybe we're feeling we're getting there and we want to say thank you. Everything that's important about human beings, I think, comes about through learning and acquiring from others. The single most important stuff that makes you special is what you pick up from others. Mums, dads, grandpas, grandmas, you know, a hero that you might read a book about or see in a documentary, and I'll become like that. Those are the things that we pick up that makes humans truly magnificent. So in karate, we hope to be able to pick up some of these karate traditions to make us better human beings. Okay, so the first bow and the last, at the end of class, the last bow, is shomen nirei, bow to the proper place, which I say to you, bow to the founders. Sensei, the sensei is the guide in the way, the person that is the link between these traditions and your practices. So of course you want to bow to the sensei. When we're doing bowing face to face, normally the student bows a little more deeply and the sensei not so deeply. And it's a very finely judged level of exactitude about the bowing. The sensei, the guide. Sometimes you can say teacher. The other bow is otagai. Otagai ni rei, rei being bow. Yes, so it's subject first. Yes, then the preposition, the placement, and finally the action word. The action word is bow, which is the rei. Otagai ni rei. What does it mean respecting others? There's several things. Firstly, care for others is an important part. One of the most basic human obligations we have in any activity is cause minimal harm to others. Do not harm others. And here you are practicing this physical skill, which could, if you misapply it, cause a lot of harm to others. That's why it's so important that you carry with you the courtesy, concern, consideration, respect. For example, for the elderly, okay, they're the ones that we've got to show care for. For the and also respect for, because they've helped us on the way. If you're a senior, you're more elderly, then of course you show consideration to juniors, who then look up to you and show respect and care for you. It's all reciprocal. The whole important part is do minimal harm. And in fact, every traditional Chinese Daojang have got, quite often, they've got the rules. And in Japanese it's called the kun, the rules. And the idea of that is, and if you look at rule number 1, cause minimal harm to others. One of the most important things you can do. So those are the 3 bows. At the beginning of class, shomen, bowing to the founders or the proper place, whether a token of where the founders is kept, a physical object. Sensei, the guide, and otagai, respecting others. The 3 bows, the 3 promises we make for behaviour. Can I just say one thing? What is it that we're working on? It's not the physical. It's this, it's the mental. It's this, the always doing the right thing. This manifests not just for the maybe once in 50 years you might actually be attacked. It should manifest itself in your daily behaviour, in your disciplined response to parents asking you to help around the house. Standing up and standing in the place of to protect the weak and the ones that don't have your skill set. Always do the right thing. Always do the right thing. Single most important stuff that comes out of your karate training. Having the discipline to deal with physical conflict, emotional conflict. It doesn't have to be a physical threat, but to stand up underneath that and always do the right thing, regardless. Do the right thing. Single most important practice. Okay, the 3 vows.